Hello everybody! Today I'm going to be unifying China as legation cities in order to form the secret country of international China. Here's the plan. We know that the United Front and Japan are going to go to war in around 39. My goal then is let these two sides bleed themselves out, fighting each other, while I raise a huge tank army. Then, I'm going to blitz through China, encircling as many divisions as possible, and get ready to destroy Japan plus Fengtian. I'm going to move my army up to Tianjin and make it easy encirclement, as well as cutting off the port in Shandong, and then getting some easy kills on these enemies. Finally, I'm going to just blitz through with my tanks, because I expect that they will have very reduced army at this point, and win the war. That's the plan, at least. But before any war begins, we have to enter phase 1 of my plan, Army XP grinding. See, the biggest weakness about the Legation Cities is that you cannot go above limited conscription, and you have very few cores. However, if I can rush down to Volkssturm plus non-discriminatory conscription, I can get an extra 5% recruitable population, which will allow me to win the war. In addition to my templates, this is going to take around 950 Army XP. So, we're going to be sending a lot of volunteers. Okay, so it's 1941 and we're just going to go to war with the Chinese United Front now. Although my army isn't fully ready, I want to get as much war score as possible, so I'm just going to aim to get a lot of encirclements, a lot of kills, and a lot of war participation. Since a lot of you guys have been asking how I managed to do these challenges, I'm going to give you a demonstration of a simple encirclement right here. This is what I use in many games because the AI is just not smart. See, it walks all its divisions in and I just make this easy encirclement. Instead of reinforcing a tile, sometimes you can bait the AI in with stuff like this and then kill their divisions. If you see, I could have reinforced with my 2 tanks, but instead I chose to just let the divisions walk in and get 4 free kills. So now I'm just going to keep on grinding war participation, using my tanks over and over again to just make these small encirclements and kill enemy troops. Plus, this will end up helping increasing my general's level, which is always a good thing. Alright, at this point I think I have enough divisions to make a comfortable advance, so I'm going to move all of my guys to the south and try to push and capitulate Guangxi. Now, this has 2 advantages. Number 1, obviously, I get the full country, but the second thing is that this area, the Guangxi region, has the most resources in all of China. If you ever play Kaiserreich or even the base game, you'll see that you have so much steel, chromium, all that stuff is here. And my main weakness right now for why I can't produce more tanks is that I don't have enough civs to be able to buy all the resources that I need, plus fuel. So being able to get Guangxi and start building compliance now is going to be more advantageous than, for example, making a push on the east side. Okay, so by March of 42, I've made some progress in the south. However, it's slowed down because the AI has so many divisions there. However, I realized that the east is now almost completely empty, and I just begin moving my infantry divisions over, deploying more divisions, and moving tanks over as well, to be able to push as much as possible into Qing. In the meantime, I also try to set up a defensive line in the south, so that I can still hold the area without having to use too many divisions. If you guys are watching carefully, you'll notice one of the key things I'm doing every like 3-5 seconds, I'm always checking supply map. This is probably the most important thing in the game to do when you're using especially tank divisions, because when your tanks go out of supply, their stats get heavily reduced compared to infantry. This is because they'll run out of fuel, which makes the tanks almost completely useless. Therefore, my goal is to always be checking supply, and if you see, I even just build railways manually, because if my tanks don't have supply, it's going to be impossible to push. If you're ever playing single player, always check supply map mode. Too many players make the mistake of just overstacking divisions, putting 50 million divisions on the front line with no supply, not taking railways, and it just leads to their downfall. One of the mistakes I actually made this game is I didn't use my spy agency enough. If you put a spy agency in an enemy country, you can actually get an intel bonus on your divisions when you're actually fighting. And sure, this might seem like a 7% bonus, but if you remember that all Hoi 4 bonuses are multiplicative and not additive, then that means that that's going to be a pretty big buff. Always, because the AI also isn't very good, just build spy networks in the enemy nation, get the army intelligence upgrade, get your localized training centers, whatever you need to do, and build intel networks. Especially in Kaiserreich, Spy Master gives an extra 2 spies, so he's not even a bad advisor like in the actual game. If you see right there, I just I just encircled a huge amount of Chinese divisions right there by connecting the northern front and the southern front. And this encirclement just occurred very naturally, not too much effort required there. If you're always looking for encirclements with your brain, you're going to have a much easier time compared to trying to purposely set up encirclements. Right here, I didn't even try to set that encirclement up myself. It occurred naturally because I had a pushing advantage in that area and I was able to make the encirclement. Now, I want to kill off all these divisions before doing too much else, because that'll give me more war score to be able to negotiate better in the peace deal. Okay, so the peace deals in Kaiserreich can definitely be cheese, but what I'm trying to do here is just make the borders as accurate as possible to what they look like IRL. So even though I could have taken the Qingdao, all of that stuff, I decided not to, just to make it fair, because the AIs, it's pretty dumb. Now I'm just going to sweep up these miners, in-game of course, and then get ready to go to war with Fengtian. If you guys just watch, you can see this war is so easy. Fengtian is tiny compared to the Chinese United Front, and their divisions are completely exhausted by 3-4 years of war. The main very key thing to do when you're fighting this war, make sure that you are doing port garrisons. Otherwise, if Japan does naval invasion, it's going to be really annoying for you, especially if you're not prepared. They can claim so much territory, claim your industry, and especially those legation cities, right? If they just take Shanghai and like another VP, you literally just capitulate. So just make sure you're doing port garrisons, otherwise it could end very badly for you. Otherwise, Fengtian divisions are literally almost all infantry. They're spreading them along the entire front, even going to the useless areas in Xinjiang. Not to be offensive or anything, but there's literally no factories there. So you can see the AI is pretty bad here. And I just push out, take all the VPs, and encircle huge amounts of divisions. Unfortunately, the fact is that there is no scripted peace deal. Unlike if you're playing, for example, Qing China, you do get a scripted peace deal with the Japanese, but because, as Legation Cities, people don't really expect you to conquer all of China, there's no scripted peace deal. So you just have to stay at war with Japan permanently, or just build a navy. And just sweep up Tibet, and the war is over. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching if you watched until the end. I actually tried to insert a lot more commentary in this video, thanks to one of the comments on the previous video. So if you guys think this is good, or if you want me to change it, just let me know in the comments. If you really like this video, please feel free to leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And if you have anything, any feedback, anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comments. See you soon.